I am currently at the front gates of Solitude, but there is still a war going on. Everybody knows about Skyrim's civil war, but do you know that its tactics make zero sense? Like literally, this makes no sense. What are these guys even doing? So today we're gonna be looking through Skyrim Civil War to see, does it make any sense at all? For this video, we're going to be mainly following the Stormcloak questline. But before we can actually get into the battles, Galmar sends us on a suicide mission. The place he's sending us is called Serpent Stone Isle. He sends us here alone to fight an ice wraith. The reason behind doing this is to see if we can really hang with the Stormcloaks. Every step I crunch the snow, hands shaking while holding my sword. And then that's when I saw it, the ice wraith, coming right towards me. That was really dramatic. I mean, it was actually not that hard of a fight. To be completely honest with you guys, it really wasn't that hard. I defeated it in a few swings. I mean, look at me go. Sending a new recruit to go fight a magic ice wraith is just bad logistics. We're a rebellion with limited manpower. You can't afford to have your recruits die before they even sign paperwork. But this does have some Germanic or Norse parallels. The Stormcloaks mirror these tribes because, much like in real life, you don't just enlist. It was common to have to undergo things like rites of passage. So after we slay the ice wraith, they're like, okay, cool, you can join us, whatever. Here's some gear. And much like the Imperials, they got us wearing skirts again. This shows our bare limbs. The fact that Stormcloaks aren't wearing full fur or trousers is a design failure. After we get that all sorted out, we're sent on our first mission to retrieve the Jagged crown yet again. But things go a little bit differently this time. We meet the squad outside a Corvinjun, the Jagged crown area. Galmar's giving his speech about the crown. We need the crown for legitimacy. If word gets out that Ulfric has the crown, he's gonna persuade a lot of those traditional Nords in the Skyrim region, flipping the odds of a large group of people in Stormcloak's favor. Unlike the Imperials, Galmar correctly decides the Imperials are already here, unlike the Imperials who just marched in. While both sides, when you go to attack the Jagged crown, they realize that the other soldiers are in and just march in. But at least Galmar kinda has a little bit more of a plan going on. I mean, look, when he ran in, he had some soldiers around him. Rika, she was trying to out-sprint them to get the first kill. It's like her weekly challenge in Call of Duty is First Blood or something. On this first mission, I was expecting to see the Stormcloaks show how they're just these crazy barbarians. But in my opinion, they actually have a much better plan. The Imperials were chaotic. Galmar is giving way better, precise instructions on what to do. You pick your man, and then you ambush on his mark. This probably could have been done better, but in Skyrim, this is near perfect. Once we get past that main part, we get to the stairs, where the Stormcloaks do something similar. They accidentally bottleneck themselves and getting themselves on the stairs, but unlike the Imperials, they end up getting around and they flip it back onto the Imperials' heads, and they start pinching them on the stairs, giving them the advantage. Despite this good correction, two of our soldiers get wiped out immediately. Galmar is the only one standing. The whole time, Galmar has this insane berserker mentality, and I'm gonna say it now, it does not go away. Galmar is one-shotting Imperial soldiers. He says things about loving the shade of red that their blood is. Yeah, guys, blood, yeah. These guys are crazy. This is when you realize Galmar isn't a general. He's a monster. He is genuinely terrifying. Growing up, I was scared of this guy, and I never really sided with the Stormcloaks in the game. This just cements that even more. This dude's terrifying. Fero tenacious. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is a Latin phrase used by the Romans to describe the Teutonic theory of Germanic tribes. I'm sorry, my pronunciation isn't very good. I should have checked up on it more. They fought with a manic, terrifying energy that scared the disciplined Roman legion. Galmar is a classic berserker. He enters a trance-like fury, and he's not sitting in the back. He is the tip of the spear. This is bad for command structure, but excellent for morale and shock value. In the Jagged crown, there's not much more to talk about. We retrieve it, and then we go take it back to Ulfric, and in exchange, he gives us the axe to deliver to Whiterun. When we bring the axe to Whiterun and Jarl Balgruuf, if he takes it, that means there's peace. If he returns it, that's a declaration of war. So I give it to him, and you know what he says? Can I be honest with you guys? I forgot to do the intro storyline, so I actually have to go to Bleak Falls Barrow real quick. I'm so sorry. So I had to go through Bleak Falls Barrow, and then I had to go fight a dragon. It's right behind me, isn't it? To be expected, the Jarl returns the crown. So we return to Galmar and Ulfric, and yeah, we're fighting. Before I actually jump into that battle though, I want to mention something. I don't know what kind of glitched copy of Skyrim I have, but just watch this clip.
It has won, and because our hearts
I hope he's okay. How did that even happen? Also, according to a few YouTube comments I saw, people were saying that the catapults actually were relatively close to some Stormcloak camps. Well, in this footage it looks like it is. When you look from the Imperials' point of view, you can clearly see these jars are being launched way further than this camp. I just wanted to address that really quickly. While running up to the gates of Whiterun, we have a lot of mix of troops, which I really appreciate. We have soldiers running up with melee weapons, while I would have liked to see more shields. Not as bad as a lot of Imperial moments. We have archers taking cover behind wood pallets or just anywhere, and that's really interesting to see because that was not a commonality with Imperials. There's some faults that are similar to the last video where the Stormcloaks didn't go around or utilize the green space behind the open walls and the entryway of Whiterun. But once they get into the gate, they do some damage. They end up funneling a bunch of soldiers into the drawbridge area, making it almost impossible for these soldiers to do anything. I end up going up and lifting the drawbridge, but nobody ends up using it and they just walk up through the top for some reason. It would have been nice to see these troops split up because there's still some hiding places that Imperials could have been in. Like this, for example. I'm probably showing it on the screen. I don't know. Wait a minute. I almost passed by a really good moment. I don't know how this keeps happening, but these legionnaires, they just keep flying in the air. Once we get to the main gate, something happens. Kalmar gives no instruction. He's just like, go in and kill everyone. While there's lowered parts of the walls that soldiers could have climbed through, obviously this couldn't have worked in Skyrim because they're two separate places that are loaded. But still, it would have been nice if he said, sweep the roads, something like that. But he's just, from what I remember, he just said, run in there and kill everyone. It doesn't take a real life commander to realize that this is a really bad idea. We're opening up these gigantic wooden doors that are going to be allowed. Realistically, there would have been soldiers lined up with bow and arrows, but this didn't end up happening. There should have been soldiers up on houses aiming directly at this door if they knew that this was the only way Stormcloaks to get in. I would talk about in between walking through this gate and getting to the Cloud District, but it happened so fast. We literally broke through everyone. Galmar destroyed them all with one hit, and now he's just sitting here talking crazy. This is way too easy. I mean, look, the companions locked their door and they're hiding. Why aren't they helping? Now, usually I don't like to judge the size of anything, but we needed a bigger barricade or just something better than this. Every other place in this town is locked besides Dragon's Reach. And then the only thing to block it off is one of these crappy barricades that you can swing at a few times and it will explode. We walk into Dragon's Reach, the guards, the Jarl, and Galmar, they have a little tussle, a little fight, and they get it over with. Galmar gives the throne to this Battleborn dude. Before new guy could sit in the chair though, I wanted first dibs. This thing's honestly really uncomfortable. Galmar asked us to go report our success to Ulfric. I walked into the Palace of Kings looking for Ulfric, but I couldn't find him anywhere until I walked in here. Ulfric, come on, you're hogging all the come on, you're hogging all the blanket, man. Come here. Scooch in for warmth. Eventually, Ulfric does wake up, and it's kind of awkward. Hey, man, sorry to wake you. Do you have another mission for me? I do have a little question. Why am I allowed to just walk into Ulfric's room? Maybe there's some commenter who has like a 20-page essay on why, but I don't know. So he sends us to the Falkreath hold. This entails going to Fort Nurgrad, which is a fortress takedown and retrieving soldiers that we have lost. When going through this on the Imperial side, the Stormcloaks forts weren't very good. But now that we're on the Stormcloak side, I actually had a lot of fun with all of these battles. All the fort designs were super sick. This is one of the really cool ones. This fort actually makes sense. One side is covered in deep water, which would be hard to flank. All walls are blocked off. And then there's only one entrance. I swear the Stormcloaks just wanted people to invade their forts that they had. The Imperials have this stuff on lockdown. The Imperials have the sentries on high ground. Some of the walls are short though, so you know what that requires? But compared to most other forts, this is really good. But what I end up doing is sneaking around, swimming through the water, into the dungeon. I swear these prisoners wanted to get caught. They're literally yelling, hey, grab the key, let us free. Oh, dang, I just wrapped a little. They're yelling at us to go get the key while there's Imperial guards in the same room as us. Are they trying to give away our position? I swear they just wanted to die. After we break out these prisoners, we climb up this ladder. There's some little flaws, like them lighting up torches right as we get outside. I don't know a better way that we could let them know that we're here. I know this is a result to the bad AI, but they all crowd on the same flight of stairs with bows drawn. In a real fight, the guy in the back is shooting the guy in the front, the back of the head. Just spread out, guys. We clear out all the Imperial soldiers in the courtyard, and then this is when Probably the best tactic I have seen in my entire Civil War playthrough. I'm walking through the keep with a few of my soldiers. That's when a door flies open and a bunch of Imperials fly out and start attacking us. They do a perfect ambush. I haven't seen any of the AI act this way. This had to have been a planned event by Bethesda. It was just too perfect. It made me so happy to see. Anyways, we kill them. We go looking through the rest of the room. The commander is asleep in his bed. I don't know. I take him out anyways. We go back to Ulfric to report the success, and this is when I notice something. He's not really giving us a rank. He's more of giving us like a cool name, which, call me simple-minded. This almost won me over because I'd rather have a cool name. Anyways, before we can fully start compelling tributes, I start flying over to where I have to meet Galmar, and of course, I run into another dragon. I don't know how this keeps happening. I mean, how does anyone in Skyrim get anywhere? The supply lines have to be a disaster. So Galmar sends us to Markarth, so then we can blackmail Rharik, however you say this. We find his amulet of Talos and say we'll expose him. After we expose this guy for worshipping Talos, he gives us some amazing intel, which ends up with us getting the lead on a caravan that's carrying payroll and weapons for Imperial soldiers. We meet up with Ralph. His name's Ralph now, guys. This mission actually blew my mind for a second. Ralph was talking about how we're gonna take out the sentry, how we're gonna be a distraction, and then how we're gonna rain down arrows on the soldiers. I was like, this was a complete 180 compared to the Imperial storyline until I remembered, put the words on the screen, I'm dumb. For some reason with the Imperials, I didn't see the wait till dark option, and I just started blasting and missing. The plan actually goes perfect. We waited till nighttime and we took out all the soldiers. I was a good distraction. It all went flawlessly. Anyways, after this, we go meet up with Ulfric or Galmar. I can't remember. We meet up with one of them and they send us on a mission to Fort Sungard. If you're looking at this amazing shot, you'll notice that this design is not like a scrappy Stormcloak fort. This is some real fortification. It's on this mountain. Placement relies on the mountain defense and it forces attackers into a choke point. There's only one flight of stairs. This is a brilliant design. It forces every attacker into a fatal funnel. You could technically flank around the sentryway and come down from the top ledges, but the AI in this game is too linear to even try to do that. During the fight, the Stormcloaks make some dumb decisions like drawing their bows out in the open with no cover at all. Anyways, our Stormcloak soldiers are standing there like they're there for Imperial archery lessons, like they're playing as the dummies that are supposed to be getting shot at. Use a wall. After all the Stormcloak soldiers take out the Imperial soldiers, they take up position immediately. I've never really seen this to this extent in Skyrim. We have a soldier on the right side, some soldiers in the courtyard, some soldiers on the front, the way top. They're everywhere, and they're taking up position in case Imperial soldiers come to fight them anytime soon. They're prepared and ready, and I really like this. Before I move on to the next fight though, I want to critique some things that I would have done differently. While it would have been a little more difficult because the placement of this fort to get into it or sneak into certain sections, what I would have done is done some sort of distraction similar to what we've done before. Have some guys with big wall shields, big square shields, I forget their names right now. Have them go up and cause a distraction like they're invading through the main gate. Get the attention of the soldiers, have the rest of the soldiers run through the sides and use ladders. And then they attack and pinpoint all the soldiers on these top areas and sneak attack them before they can even notice. Galmar or Ulfric, I can't remember right now. How does this keep happening? They send us to Fort Snowhawk. There is an illusion with this fort though. From the front, it looks sturdy. The water acts as a natural moat, making it hard to siege. But if you go 5 feet from the side, the barriers are missing. I literally tested this. You can walk straight up the rubble. You don't even have to jump to get into this place. It's like they spent their whole budget on the front gate, but ran out of money for the rest of the walls. There is something that wasn't talked about though, which is a cave entrance underneath of the fort. So you can sneak in through this cave entrance. It says you failed to meet up with men, but you can still attack this fort just differently, which Skyrim doesn't usually give you that option in this way. Tactically, giving the option to be able to sneak in and stab them in the back is a great idea. Once we get into the courtyard, Imperials are doing dumb things. Stormcloaks are holding the top of ramps in the high ground. We took the high ground and we kept it. We're finally not doing little dumb mess ups to take away our victories. The Imperial soldiers are spazzing out, pulling out their bows, not knowing what to do because they're surrounded by our soldiers. Maybe at first they were getting back into the groove of things, but now they are a force to be reckoned with. We're holding the high ground. We're not running down to greet them. While some of the soldiers do, it's not as bad as previous moments. After this fight, we meet with Galmar, tells us to go invade Fort Hraggstad, put up the pronunciation right now, is the most beautiful fort in all of Skyrim. This thing is majestic and super well made. They have a ton of soldiers here. It was really cool to see this fight with soldiers actually all interacting in a good amount of space to soldier ratio, if that makes sense. This fort is on the edge of a cliff basically, so the only way to get in is through the front gate. Or so I thought at first. I'll get into that. If you go around the left side, there's a very narrow spot where you could get an army around, but it's a super bad idea. There's a good chance for your clunky armor to make noise, or you could fall off and get ate by a mud crab. But if you went around the right side, there is a gate opening, but there's a lot of soldiers around, so it would be really hard to get to that. You would need one soldier to take out this officer, while at the same time, while they do this, we need to be aware that there's a very good chance that all the other soldiers could be alerted to this. So it makes it really difficult to even sneak in through this side opening. So what we are forced to do is go through the main entrance. And with the Skyrim AI, we probably couldn't have even got guys to sneak around. They love the front gate for some reason. Anyways, we run through the front gate, and of course it's built like a deadly funnel, like every other place. Our soldiers are struggling for a little bit. They start getting attacked. In the middle, they're getting teamed up on. Eventually we end up taking the upper hand. We wipe out the Imperial soldiers, but it kind of felt like they were just never ending. It was a close fight, but we ended up coming out on top. What would have been nice to see is, like a lot of other strategies that I've had, have soldiers make a lot of noise out one door, have all our other soldiers going through the other door, maybe have a few go up on ladders, take out some of the remaining archers, so then once we get into that funnel space for those melee attacks at the bottom ground, we aren't having our soldiers having arrows rain down on them. But after that, we claim the fort, we go meet up with Ulfric, and he tells us to talk to Galmar again. I think that's what happened. Anyways, we go talk to Galmar, and he sends us on one last mission.
We're taking the city. Meet the brothers gathering for the attack. Fight well or die well.
Oh. Again? Do I really gotta go right now? Shoot, why does this keep happening to me? We're walking up to go meet Galmar and the other men at the front gates of Solitude when I see a literal soldier walking around. He should either be retreating, trying to attack us, but instead, no, he's just taking a leisure walk. Anyways, Ulfric gives us his final instructions, and now it's time to invade Solitude. That probably looked super cool just now. So let's go over the strategy for this. Solitude is a fortress on a natural arch. Flanking it is impossible. So we do what Nords are best at, and that's running through the front door. We bust down that door, we wipe out soldiers. It was actually really easy, and these streets are deserted, man. It's deserted, but it looks beautiful. I mean, it kind of looks like the castle from Resident Evil 4. Look at how beautiful this is. Definitely not a capital city, but it is stunning nonetheless. We wipe out the soldiers in the main section, but past where the blacksmith is in Solitude is completely barred off. So we have to go around through the rest of the city. We have a pretty intense fight around all these houses. Much like the attack on Windhelm, there should be soldiers up on houses, up in the natural terrain, maybe like trees even. The Imperials are desperate. They need to take measures to win this fight, but instead they do melee hand-to-hand combat against people who know it way better than them. Galmar goes in, he's swinging that axe. He actually goes down for a little bit, which is not usual. We go in and help, and we start taking out all these soldiers. We end up defeating the soldiers and get to the Imperial training yard. Once we get in here, we have our soldiers run to the main open area. But one thing that we didn't consider is all of the ledges above us. Imperial soldiers are sitting on the ledges while there's a bunch of them clumped up, which is not a good idea. One shout from Ulfric could send them all flying. They do have the general good idea though. If they had spaced out the soldiers a little bit more, they could have been raining down arrows on all of us Stormcloaks troops. It would have been a perfect thing, but they didn't listen, and we pieced them up. And much like any other time, there's a lot of friendly fire that probably should have been happening from arrows hitting their own soldiers in the back of the heads. This would have been happening on the Imperial side and the Stormcloak side in the fight. It was bad. At first, Ulfric seemed to be leading the charge, but then I lost him. I don't know where he went. I ended up finding him, and he got glitched in this corner. I don't know what's up with him, but I hope he gets well soon. I got him a get well soon card. Hey man, you doing okay over there? I told you guys he was crazy. We finally knock out the rest of the soldiers, and then it's time to confront General Tullius. In this fight, you see a heavy contrast. Rika and General Tullius are angry. Ulfric, the one who is framed to be a barbarian, is the only civilized person here. At first when I wrote that, I thought I was pulling some smart stuff out of my head from my psychology class in high school, when in reality, they're probably mad because they know they're about to die. So I throw that thought out the window. This fight is a mess. Guys, please, come on, stop fighting. We don't need to do this. I just kind of realized that this whole channel is just like those videos you see of people putting their OC in like a random cartoon or anime. That's besides the point. Back to the fight. The area for it just is not big enough. At a point, Kalmar and Ulfric actually end up getting knocked down. Tullius and Rika, if I weren't on the Stormcloak side, they would have won this fight because they were not playing around. Ultimately though, the storyline caught up with them. General Tullius is swinging. It looks like he stabs Rika in the back. And then eventually General Tullius gets stuck in a wall. Just like in the last video, General Tullius and Ulfric talk a little bit, and I'm given the option to let either Ulfric take care of General Tullius, or if I'm the one that will behead him. And to stay fair to my other video, I decided to take the sword. Regretfully, I swung the sword down, even though I knew this is what I had to do. I'm just kidding. It's really not that deep, but it's kind of fun to make it dramatic. Hey, yeah. Hey, we won. Hey. Ulfric asked me to stand with him, and to be honest, this is a huge honor, but I'm gonna give them some room. This is getting a little too intimate. Come on, guys, take it back to Windhelm or something. Immediately, though, Ulfric talks about rebuilding Skyrim. He wants to fix Skyrim in the way that he thinks is correct. The Stormcloaks want religious freedom, self-governance, heritage, and they refuse to let foreign powers dictate their gods. In the end, doing a deep dive of the Civil War isn't about choosing who is the good guy, who is the bad guy. The Imperials offer a safe prison. You live but follow rules. The Stormcloaks offer a dangerous freedom that is not offered for all. With that being said, in Skyrim, both sides' tactics make 0 sense. But the Stormcloaks, they fight with more heart. And in Skyrim, maybe that's all that matters. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. These videos take a long time, so I'd appreciate if you guys did all those things. Maybe follow me on Instagram too. Anyways, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.